Good afternoon, friends. This is Sexologist, sex coach, and sex therapist Dr. Uttam, and I welcome you to Maximum Performance videos. Our topic of today is related to what is known as premature ejaculation. Now, today I'm going to talk about a myth which is very prevalent in the minds of men, probably throughout the world. The myth is that men can have sex for nearly 20 to 30 minutes at a time. Now, friends, let me tell you one thing. There are three main reasons why this myth that a man can perform for 20 to 30 minutes is being prevalent throughout the world for centuries and centuries. Now, what are the three reasons? The first reason is that most of the men have no idea about sexual physiology. In the absence of any formal sex education, either at secondary level, high secondary level, or even beyond that, there is no sign of sex education whatsoever. And also the fact that majority of the men are completely ignorant about sex education, and basically they do not take the help of any books on human sexuality. And if not anything else, even if they study a chapter on human physiology, that would make it very easy for them to understand how long does the sex last in an average man. So that is the reason that most men want to believe that sex lasts for 20 to 30 minutes. But if they pick up a book on sexual physiology or simply a chapter on sexual physiology, they will know how much the sex act lasts. That's one reason. The second reason is that most of the males who are sexually experienced, and some of them who have just begun to have sex, the problem with the conversation is that most men tend to completely exaggerate the duration of their sex act, because they believe that when they exaggerate the duration of the sex act, it makes them feel more manly, it makes them feel more masculine, and that is the myth which is passed on to the generation of men beneath them, right? And even the men beneath them, when they grow up, they continue to perpetuate this myth, and this is how this myth goes on around the world, with almost nobody trying to correct the myth. That is how this thing works. And the third reason why people tend to believe that an average male can last for 20 to 30 minutes is pornographic films. Well, in pornographic films, you can see that a man lasts for nearly to 20-30 minutes or even more. And these are the three reasons why men tend to believe that sex lasts for 20 to 30 minutes. Now, here are some of my suggestions. The first thing is that this is a myth, right? This is a myth. And first of all, don't believe what pornographic films show, because pornographic films are highly edited with a lot of other effects, which I'm not going into the details right now because there's no time. But there is a lot of editing, and there are a lot of other things added to make the whole act appear much longer than it actually is. So that is the reason. Secondly, I would say that to all the men throughout the world who tend to feel and think that, the longer the sexual act, the more masculine they appear, you all are actually doing a lot of harm to the generation of men who are coming after you, because you are perpetuating that myth. The other generation also perpetuates, and they in turn also believe that it's okay to lie about the duration of the sexual act, and if that makes us feel more masculine and more proud, why not? So it's high time that a certain generation, for example grown-up men who are sexually experienced, and when they are guiding a man who's about to get married, or somebody who they are taking care of, especially men, it's very important to guide them about right physiology and also the right timings of sexual intercourse, so that they don't get confused and they don't perpetuate these myths further. And the third thing what I would advise all of you is that please make sure that all of you read up the chapter on human physiology. That's very important, so you get the basic idea of how the human sexual act actually works. So this was a video about today, which was about exploding the myth that men can last for 20 to 30 minutes at a time. So I hope now you're convinced that this is actually not a fact, but it's a myth. And this myth was basically connected with premature ejaculation, because in premature ejaculation, people who are not suffering from premature ejaculation, they tend to spread these kind of stories that a normal man actually lasts for such a lot of time, and those poor premature ejaculators tend to feel very bad about the fact that they cannot last even for a very short time. So this was basically a video for all those premature ejaculators in the world, that please do get rid of this myth right from your mind right now, because one of the ways to cure premature ejaculation is that you need to not have any myths in your mind, because these myths, they work in your mind, they remain in your mind, they kind of appear on and off in your conscious mind, and tend to bring you down rather than kind of motivate you to seek the help of either a sex therapist, a sexologist, or a sex coach. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and if you found it useful, please do share it with all whom you know who still harbor the myth of this ban lasting for 20 to 30 minutes at a time. Thank you very much, and I'll hope to see you next week. Thank you.